So here I'll open up my structural file, the version 4 coordination file. And then we just have to wait for the process of the opening of the file. Alright, so the plan opened up just as you can see here. Let me just hit VV to open up the visibility graphics menu, and then under the model categories tab we can go through the menu and open up the structural framing section. Here we can activate the joists box, and then over here we have the generic models. Check that too and hit OK, just so that the unit and the joinery work appear here as well if we haven't erased them yet. Alright, so they're here and you can see them. Alright, so now we just want to find a way to get the program to do the process smart. In order to do that, we can go over to the Manage tab and open up the project parameters, and we can add a parameter here for it. Now it's better that a parameter is shared. So I'll select the shared parameter option, edit here, and then press create. And then we can go over here to the open up the Beam folder, and then the Navisworks folder. We'll save it here in the files, and for the name we can go with, let's see, as an example, we can go with a shared parameter for MS project. Alright, so press save, and then I'll create a new parameter group here, and I'll name it code or whatever you want. Press new once again, naming this one, for example, simulation part, under the common discipline and text type, and OK, and OK once again. Alright, and then you can select whatever categories you prefer. I can go with all for now, but make sure to put this under instance. And then for the group parameter, we can go with identity data, or let's see what else we have. I'll put it under the construction group parameter and hit OK. Alright, then I'll go over to the north view so we can have the plan in 2D and so we can see it in full detail. Now if I remember, we removed the braces in our MSP project and they weren't present there. So now I can start from the foundation. And in order to do that, we can zoom in here in the plan and using click and drag, select the foundation here. Then let me open up the filters menu to make sure that we check the structural foundations box. Now we can check the walls as well because it includes the area around the elevator as well. Now here we have a section called the simulation part. And for the foundation, if you remember in the notepad, we named it FO. So I'll copy that and paste it in this field here. And that's why I previously wrote it in notepad, just so I wouldn't forget it. So for now, I'll press the hide element option. And then here, I'll select the columns of the first row, open up the filters window, and only check the structural columns and hit OK. Now for this one, we put the CO-1 name, so I can copy that and paste it in the simulation part field here, and then I can hide this element temporarily as well. Alright, then after that in the notepad we have the joists and the unilith, so I'll copy the J1 name that we already assigned to it, and then let's see, we can select these in the plan, and this time I'll select the joists, the other, and the generic models filters here and hit OK. Then let's go over to the 3D view, select this, and then press the isolate element option. So I'll make sure that we only selected these elements. Alright, then I'll hold shift, and then we can go back to the items and deselect the ones that have been selected here by mistake. For example, these. And then let's see what else we have. Alright, that's about it. So I'll paste the J-1 name under the simulation part as well. Alright, then hit apply. So we'll go over here and select these that we have from the selected elements, and then under the structural section, I'll put the structural usage on girder and then hit apply. Alright, then I'll hit temporary reset. Alright, so now we can define the beams and the floor as one parameter. But let's see what we have in the notepad here. We have the beam -1. And for this element, I think it's this part in the plan. And then this time in the filters menu, we'll only check the floors and the structural framing, meaning girder, and then hit OK. Then I'll go over here and press isolate, and there we go. All of the correct elements have been selected. So I'll select these once again, and then paste the name under the simulation part field as well. Then apply. Alright, so on, just as the examples that we've practiced, you need to assign names to the elements that you select in the MS project, and the names need to be codes just as here, and in this column we can put in construct for all of them, and if there are temporary structures we can put them on temporary, and also we can put them on demolish when needed. But right now that we're in the construction phase, we can put them under construct. Alright, so now that you've learned how to go through this process, make sure to do it before you start your actual project, so that you won't have to do any redoings later on. For now, I'll save the file, but for now, let's just go through the plan and delete some of the extra elements that won't be necessary. So for example, these plates here, we can select and press delete. Let's see, first switch to this view where we have the plates right here. Alright, so then I'll use click and drag here to select all of this, and then open up the filters menu, press check none, and make sure to only select the plates, which we have 38 of, which we had forgotten to erase, and so we can delete them right now. So press save once again. Now we get a warning here, and it's because the plates were standard, and so there are some background processes going on in progress. But it will save them now if I press it again. Now this can happen in the MEP and structure when you're using steel connections, and in the MEP itself, sometimes some calculations are going on and the process needs to be finished first. So now I'll transfer the plan to the Navisworks. So we'll go over here and select the Navisworks from the external tools, and I'll save it on this same file as well. Open up the Navisworks settings and put the setting factor on 1 and hit OK. Then save here, and yes. Now the process takes some time. I'll pick up after it's done in the next part.